Let's talk about the unconditional love versus conditional love. The nervous system does know the difference. Imagine a child standing in a doorway holding a drawing. Their hands are small, the paper is wrinkled, their heart is wide open. They ask one question without words: am I loved as I am? Because before language fully forms, before identity crystallizes, the human nervous system is already running on one of the most sophisticated psychological scans known to science, a continuous assessment of relational safety versus relational threat. This scan determines whether love is experienced as unconditional presence or as conditioned approval. And this difference doesn't shape feelings. It shapes the architecture of the brain, the regulation of the autonomic nervous system, and the formation of the self. My name is Fawzia Khazi Shah, licensed clinical social worker. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Conditioned love is the most normalized psychological injury that rarely gets recognized. It sounds like, I love you when you behave. I love you when you succeed. I love you when you don't inconvenience me. This is not love as a stable emotional substrate. This is love as a contingent reinforcement schedule. From a clinical standpoint, this activates what psychologists call conditional positive regard, a term pioneered by Carl Rogers, who discovered that when love is contingent on performance, the individual begins to fragment their authentic self in order to preserve the attachment, because the attachment is not optional for survival. For the nervous system, rejection does not register as emotional discomfort. It registers as an existential threat. Functional MRI studies show that social rejection activates the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex, the same neural circuitry involved in physical pain. In other words, the brain does not clearly distinguish between unloved and being physically injured. So the organism adapts, not by becoming more authentic, but becoming more acceptable. And here are some of the patterns and the processes you may see. To understand the difference between unconditional and conditional love, we have to look at attachment science. First, mapped by John Bowlby and empirically demonstrated by Mary Ainsworth. They found that when love is unconditional, the nervous system develops what is called the secure attachment. The secure attachment creates stable vagal tone, reduced baseline cortisol levels, integrated self-concept, emotional regulation capacity, and resilience under stress. Why? Because unconditional love communicates one fundamental neurobiological message: your existence is not under evaluation. And this allows the amygdala, the brain's threat detection center, to remain regulated rather than hypervigilant. The prefrontal cortex remains online. The person can think, feel, and exist simultaneously without fragmentation. But conditioned love creates something very different. It produces attachment insecurity, which manifests as hypervigilant to rejection, chronic sympathetic nervous system activation, identity confusion, public pleasing, survival strategy, emotional suppression to preserve close proximity. The individual learns a devastating equation. Authenticity equals abandonment, so they disconnect from themselves to stay connected to others. This is not weakness, this is neurobiological intelligence under relational threat. Conditioned love trains the nervous system to prioritize attachment over authenticity. So unconditional love allows both to coexist. Here's what I recommend, and I actually like people to become more conscious. The most important truth is this, that human beings do not heal through evaluation. They actually heal through but through safe relational presence. Unconditional love does not mean the absence of boundaries. It means the absence of an existential threat without connection. It means saying you are allowed to exist here, even when you are imperfect. You are not required to earn your worth. You do not have to perform to remain loved, because unconditional love regulates the nervous system at its deepest level. It tells the body you're safe to be real. And when the nervous system no longer has to perform for survival, it stops living in defense. Instead, it starts living in the truth, in clarity, self-awareness, self-worth. So whether you are a parent, a partner, or simply a human being in relationship with others, understand that every interaction answers one silent question in another person's nervous system. Is my existence safe? And your answer has the power to shape not just their feelings, but their brain, their identity, and their capacity to love themselves. Because in the end, unconditional love does not create dependency. It creates freedom, and freedom is where authentic self finally comes home, that I am worthy, I'm good enough, I am loved, I am wanted, I'm respected, and that is the unconditional love with no conditions at all, just pure love, being around another being, and it comes from a deeper level, from the deeper I, unlike from the surface I, which is your mind, and the deeper I is the being, the you. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment or two for me. Thank you so much, and have a great day.